Welcome to r/Reddit Revenge. This is a story of someone getting back at someone with revenge after being wronged. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story gave me the middle finger when I tried to return the glasses. Glasses were thrown in the trash and gave them the middle finger back when they came looking for the glasses. The second story. Bartender experiences many negative situations, including an abusive boss and a chaotic night, causing him to quit his job. The third story. Hotel front desk worker deals with uncooperative temporary waitstaff who refuse to do their job properly. Worker leaves them with a sink full of dirty glasses and dishes to clean. The first story is, I got the middle finger and I returned the favor. I'm someone in my late 20s, brown fellow living in the South. I've been a regular at this small restaurant for a few years and usually sit at the bar. Sunday morning I walk in and sit at the bar. Directly behind me is a booth with 4 ladies in their 20s having breakfast. I don't really pay much attention to them. The restaurant is pretty busy and all the waitresses are running around. I make my small talk with the waitress, get my coffee and order my food. As I wait, at some point the ladies behind me had finished their food, left the booth, paid, and walked out. The table was being cleaned by another waitress and she finds a pair of glasses and asks the waitress who had the table about them. I said the ladies just left and are probably still outside in the parking lot, and the waitress asked me if I could flag them down and give the glasses back. So, being friendly, I got the glasses and walked outside and find the ladies pulling out of their car from the parking spot. As I try to flag them to get their attention, the 2 ladies in the front seat make eye contact, start laughing, and then hit the gas without stopping. The ones in the back yell something and give me the middle finger. I said screw it, threw the glasses in the trash can, and walked back into the restaurant. A few minutes later, I'm back inside eating my food. I see one of the ladies walk back inside talking to the hostess. She points to the waitress that had the table and are inquiring about the glasses. I'm not going to lie, it felt good when they pointed at me, and see the look on her face. When the waitress asked what I had done with the glasses, I told them I put them in the trash outside when they gave me the middle finger. I didn't get an apology, the girl just walked out. Few minutes go by. They come back and asking which trash can I put the glasses into. I still hadn't gotten an apology, so I did what I thought was right and gave them the middle finger back and they left. Ladies in this story were really keen on showing off their middle fingers. Women in the car clearly thought it was funny to give the man the middle finger and drive off, but little did they know it would result in them losing their glasses. Man felt frustrated and disrespected, and his decision to throw away the glasses was a way to assert his own power in the situation. Good thing OP of this story had some quick reflexes and was able to return the gesture in kind. Either way, I hope OP doesn't have to deal with any more rude customers in the future. The next story is, don't tell me how much notice to give. This story takes place 4 years ago. After working in hospitality in Australia, I had a rude awakening when returning home to the UK and trying to be a bartender. Going from working as a supervisor in a topless bar near Sydney, still my best job to date, to working in TGI Fridays. Even though I was able to get 6 5-star reviews on TripAdvisor in one night for my banter with the customers, the managers still treat you like you're a child that doesn't know their vodka from their red wine. I decided to leave TGIFs and look for another supervisor bartending job, as I thought if I managed myself it'll be better, and I found a job extremely quickly, which should have been my first red flag. I attended an informal interview with the landlord, Peter, where I explained how I was able to receive great reviews on TripAdvisor and was able to improve the current 3 out of 5 stars of this pub by using the same techniques I used at TGIF. The second red flag should have been the fact that Peter offers the job within 10 minutes of the interview. Super happy, I took the job and let him know I would give 2 weeks notice to TGIF, as I always find 2 weeks of professional courtesy. He explains very abruptly that legally I only have to give 1 week's notice, as I didn't work there for a year yet. I explained how the rota was out and that it would be nicer if I would give 2 weeks. He scoffed but agreed to see me in 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, I started my new job as a bar supervisor. The red flags didn't stop. Peter was a master micromanager with bad customer service and a bad temper. Just the sort of person you want as your manager. Here are a few of my favorite things that he did. The cellar alarm was going off. Carbon monoxide detector. Gas leaks somewhere in the cellar, which was from one of the bartenders not being able to change the keg. The manager sees me and tells me to go in and open the door, which I do straight away. Then I go to fix the problem and he tells me to F off and go back to the bar, which I do. 5 minutes later, he comes to the bar and shouts at me in front of the customer that I was currently serving. Why didn't you close the effing door? Then storms off. The customer asks me what was that about. I say, I have no clue. Another time, he decides that the family is enjoying their meal, that the kids have dropped off a few peas on the floor, so he brings the table a dustpan and brush to clean up. The table had their mouths full and thought he was just doing a check back to make sure the food was okay. You can see them doing the awkward smile and nod. This was until Peter told them to clean the floor. I'm not paid to clean up after your kids. The family thought he was joking. When they worked out he wasn't joking, they stopped eating and cleaned the floor. They left so quickly after they finished. The supervisor before me had quit because Peter was saying he was going to get them done for stealing. He bragged about the fact if they stayed he would have pressed charges. The more he said this and the more I thought it could be Peter just setting up this person for theft, but I had no proof. One time he accepted two 50-pound notes, which are not only rare but are very known for being fake. The two notes he accepted looked like bad photocopies of Monopoly money. You could see they were fake from the next city over. Strange enough, he told me to do my first and only banking that day. The bank didn't accept these notes as they were not real. I made sure to take pictures of them before I left to cover myself in case he was trying to stitch me up. This one night everything was falling apart. The kitchen had a 2-hour wait, due to some weird policy that Peter decided to make that night. Not 100% sure what the policy was, but it was something like completing the first check before starting the next. But the best thing was Peter was sitting at tables telling them it was a 20-minute wait. At one point I was standing in the middle of the dining room apologizing to 4 tables at the same time as they were all complaining about the 2-hour wait. On top of this, I was due to go home about 2 hours ago. It was an SH show. This was the night I decided to quit. Here's a review from that night. Ate there today with my wife and 2 children. Waited an hour and 15 minutes for the first course. When I approached the bar to find out where our dinner was, I was met by a nice chap who said he would find out. Within 10 minutes of being sat down, a lady approached us with our receipt and asked what the problem was. I explained we were still waiting for our food, but she snubbed us and said, "Would you like me to tell the kitchens you're ready for it?" Can't think of a time where I've ever been to a restaurant, ordered food, paid in full, and then had to tell staff when we wanted it delivered. Whilst continuing to wait, it was interesting overhearing the conversations this waitress was having with other staff about all the complaints they'd had and how they'll continue to get bad reviews if they don't change things. Approached the bar again asking for our food and could hear lots of swearing by a chap in a pink polo shirt from the kitchens, and so decided to ask for a refund. The nice chap who originally chased the food order up didn't hesitate in refunding me in full, whilst explaining how he should have been home hours ago. The only saving grace to this god-awful place is the nice guy on the bar. First and last visit for us. I was the nice chap. Peter is pink shirt. There are many other great reviews. I couldn't help the reviews of this place because the landlord was mentioned in nearly every one for his bad customer service. So here is the petty revenge. I know I was going to quit and I had another job lined up. I told him I wanted to give this place 2.5 weeks notice, which would make me leave, the day before Father's Day, the busiest day on the books due to the day and the fact that there was a promotion running. But instead of giving in my notice and letting them have 2.5 weeks, I decided to finally listen to Peter and give them the legal requirement of 1 week. I waited a week and a half to give them my notice, making sure he was understaffed for the busiest day of the year. Apparently it was a complete mess on Father's Day. Looking at the reviews, he was sacked within the next month. 4 years on the pub has now changed its name and looks like it's doing okay. I still chuckle when thinking back to him saying I can't leave. Yes, legally I can. I'm sorry to hear about your terrible experience at your old job. Oh, OP here accepted a job offer too quickly and realized later that he had signed up for a nightmare. The manager turned out to be an authoritarian micromanager with terrible customer service skills, who treated his employees badly and created an unpleasant work environment. Bad hiring and bad management. The way he's treating his employees and customers is not only unprofessional but downright comical. It's no wonder this place had bad reviews. The only thing worse than the wait for the food is the wait for Peter to get fired. It's important to be cautious and research a potential employer before accepting a job offer. A hasty decision can lead to unpleasant consequences. The last story is, you really enjoy being a jerk to my colleagues and our guests. Here's some extra work for you. I work in this small hotel at a front desk. Most of the time, we do not have many customers who want a meal, so we don't have a full-time waiter. When we expect more than 20 people per meal, we call a waiter. When waiter isn't around here, we also tend the bar, wash and polish the glassware, serve food, etc. Restaurant area is cleaned by anyone who does not have another work to do at that moment. In our working area behind the bar, we have a printed list of all the waiter's duties, including but not limited to washing and polishing all the glassware, cleaning and mopping the restaurant, cleaning the bar, taking out trash, etc. It's worth noting that waiters are paid per meal, not per hour, and when all the guests finish their meals, the waiters just have to finish his duties and he's free to go. Their wage per meal is bigger than my wage per whole 8-hour shift. Our regular waiter, let's call him Jin, isn't in town for a month, so 2 of his friends are coming instead of him. Those people are a couple. Let's call them Mike and Mia. They both came to work with Jim on a few occasions, when we had a large groups, so they're familiar with the bar and dining area and of course their duties. Jim has never complained about the work. He would always wash all the glasses and cups, and he always leaves the restaurant and the bar impeccably clean. But Mia and Mike obviously do mind doing their job properly. Last week I found a dozen dirty glasses and ashtrays when I arrived in my afternoon shift. Mia worked that morning and refused to wash those dishes because she didn't serve the dinner last evening, so it's not her job. I told my colleague about that, and she told me that Mike refused to clean the floor a couple of days ago, and that she already told our manager about that. Our manager probably spoke with them, because we saw them both cleaning the floor after their shifts, but they didn't seem too happy about that. The Tuesday we had a group for dinner, they told us to expect them around 8 p.m. Mia came at 7 to set the tables. There was some delay, and when people didn't show up at 8:30, she tried to pick an argument with my colleagues. Why are they late? Where are they? It's late, can't you call them? Who's responsible for this? I'm told that dinner will be served at 8 p.m. It's 8:30. I have other things to do. Whose fault is this? A colleague of mine calmly explained that this is a hotel, not a jail, and that we can't call the guests to order them to show up immediately or else. But all of us were fed up with them at that point. The next day, Mike was doing the lunch and Mia the dinner. Mike warned us that he was some appointment at 4 p.m. and told us that Mia will finish the dishes and the cleaning before the dinner. Okay, we don't care. Luckily, these guests arrived a little early, so I managed to finish almost everything, leaving only a few dirty glasses in the sink. He came to the front desk to take his money, and then gave me a bill and told me I sold a beer to some moron. I looked up and saw one of our regular guests sitting in the restaurant drinking a beer. I mean, WTF, this guest is a really great guy. I can't imagine him doing anything that would provoke such a reaction. I almost lost my SH, but there were another guests in the reception area, so I just said, okay, see you tomorrow. Later that afternoon, I took a tray and picked up every single dirty glass, cup, pitcher, and ashtray I could find in the rooms, and all around the hotel, and put them in and around the sink in the bar. There wasn't enough room in the sink. The look on her face when she saw all the dirty glassware was priceless, but she still had to wash and polish everything. We haven't seen them since then. I really hope that they'll refuse to work when our manager will call them again. Looks like Mia and Mike finally got what they deserved. I think Mike needs to work on his customer service skills. Maybe he should take some lessons from the regular guest who's always such a great guy. Or better yet, maybe he should just stick to cleaning the floors and washing the glasses. Cheers to karma. Subscribe, hit the like button, and have a nice day.